My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness, and to allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart. They wrote the headlines before she spoke a word, twisted every gesture, left no truth unblurred. They named her liar, called her calculating, while the camera circled, cold and salivating. They sold her tears for profit, sold her smile for shame, built a whole industry just to play like she is a game. Every act of love became a weapon in their hand. Every time she stood up, they refused to let her stand. They questioned if her children came from her own flesh and bone. They whispered she should disappear, leave this world alone. Coordinated, calculated, cold as winter's stone. A woman breathing, somehow that was all they'd ever need. My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness, and to allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart. They called her every name, the cuts beneath the skin, turned her joy to evidence, turned her love to sin. Streetwalker, manipulator, too much and not enough. Staged the grief, they said, even mourning wasn't proof. They cheered when she stumbled, prayed she'd lose her way, organized the silence when she had something to say. Weaponized her clothing, weaponized her race, wanted her erased with a smile upon her face. There were days that dark came close, days the weight became a ghost, when the whole world seemed to sharpen like a blade, when the voices grew so loud and the cruelty filled the crowd, and you wondered if the light inside would fade. But she did not become them. No, she did not become them. She held the kindness harder when the world turned cold. They could not take it. The kindness, they could not take it. They tried everything, everything, and still she continued. And so will you. They could not take it.
For now 10 years, every day for 10 years, I have been bullied and attacked. And I was the most trolled person in the entire world, man or woman. I'm still here. And so when I think of all of you and what you're experiencing, I think so much of that is having to realize that, that industry, that billion-dollar industry that is completely anchored and predicated on cruelty to get clicks, that's not going to change. So you have to be stronger than that. And a friend of mine gave me a little bag that had a quote on it that I put on. And I look at it every single day. And I would share it with you because sometimes I can imagine as you talk about depression or anxiety or the willingness or lack of appetite to even want to get out of bed or keep going, that this is the quote that it says, and I think it's important that you remember it, because I try to as well. My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness, and to allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart. And that's my wish for all of you as well. And you can do it, together. And I'm not gonna say it's easy. I will personally tell you it is not easy, but you can do it. And my wish for all of you is to just continue.
Well, hello, my beautiful people. Hope you are all doing fantastic. Welcome to Majesty's Sussex Report. I'm Antonio, and thank you for spending some of your valuable time here with us. I was planning to do a very different podcast than what you have received. I really hope you enjoyed that song. I really hope you like it, love it. So I started out with that intention to get a very different podcast done. And as I was gathering and writing and getting videos and so on, I came across the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan, at that Center for Mental Health, and her talking about being the most trolled and bullied person for a decade now. And then she offered that quote. And I'll tell you, by the time she finished saying the quote, my eyes were all teared up, and and I thought, okay, I can't continue, because my brain had completely switched. My attention was completely on those words, on every single word she said, on her expression, and the pain I felt. I felt it in my soul, my heart, because for so many of us who engage in this and day in and day out try our very best to put up a certain wall of defense. And trust me, I know there is a God. I believe in God. But I also know that God has given us abilities and has given us certain things that some of us are good at. And I think that most of us are using whatever little talent we've got that's given by God in order to to fight this evil, because it is pure evil, right? And we can see that the world right now is being consumed by evil. And it's people like you who believe in prayers, who believe in kindness, who believe in love and good, that every single day we get up and we try and do good because the world needs it. We try and be kind because the world needs it. That energy that goes out into the world, that force, may we feed the good. May we feed the kind. Let's feed that into this world because it needs it now more than ever. So I couldn't concentrate any longer on the podcast I was preparing. And as I read again the quote, I wanted to put it to song and to do it some justice. So I've been spending the entire day doing that actually. There's many versions of this song that didn't make it. But just actually finished everything about, I said, about an hour ago. About an hour ago. Right now, as I'm recording this, it's 2 a.m. my time. So it took all day. These things do, and I really do hope that you liked it, you enjoyed it, and that it's done some justice to that quote. It's from my heart, dedicated to Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and to every person that the world has tried to break. You know, I think, as someone asked a while ago, why do I take so much of this so personal and why do I take it so to heart? Let me say this. You know, the world has tried to break me many a times and still continues to. I said this many a times, I wasn't supposed to even be alive. The doctors had given me an expiry date of about, they said I wouldn't survive my 8 years. But here I am. I've got some extraordinary parents that fought and fought hard for me to stay alive and did the impossible to find and insisted in finding doctors and so on and so on. But anyways, I'm here. But this world, when you try to be a good person, it will put people in your path that will try and just beat you down. I know what it is like to be bullied. I know what it is like to not understand why you're being targeted. I've been called every name there is to be called a person. I've been told, okay. So that just hit. It just hit. And still she tries. And still she rises. For many people who don't get this, who don't understand, I pity you. That you don't have the capacity, the empathy, or the intelligence, the common sense to look and see what they have been doing to this woman nonstop, and for you to still believe them, Because as I was writing, I kept thinking, I wonder how this is going to play out, because I know it's going to be all over. It's going to be in every newscast. It's going to be in every newspaper, every magazine, every podcast. Everyone is going to talk about it. And I don't know what is with me, that I always have this little glimpse of hope that these people will reflect. These people will have an aha moment, a come to Jesus moment, in or whoever, and realize they will connect with their humanity and see, understand what they've been doing. So as I took a break, I decided to let me see. And it just made me even angrier. And at the same time, holding dual emotions, angry and just an enormous amount of sadness. Because it is the state of our humanity. It is the state in which we're in. There's wars being 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 declared, and innocent people dying. Dropping a bomb on a school with 100 plus schoolgirls, innocent schoolgirls. First bomb. You didn't drop the first bomb in a military base or something. No, 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 no. School for girls. A school for girls. Yesterday I was reading this stuff about 60 something million men, 62 or something million men were on a site learning how to drug their wives and to invite other men to violate their wives as their wife is unconscious. What is happening to our society? What is happening to our humanity? I don't understand it. It's all evil. Evil. Because you see these people, they're sitting there behind a laptop, a computer, behind their phones, in their offices, government offices, presidents, prime ministers, king, queens, presidents, CEOs, managers, vice presidents. They just sit there, make orders, and not think about consequences. And it's all because of greed and money. Greed and money. And no concept at all about the damage, the hurt, the lives that they take. No, as if there's no concerns to them. No concerns whatsoever. Because the worship of power and money has completely transformed. If even they had any consciousness, or if even they had any sort of empathy, and the thing to see these moronic zombie people, and it has nothing to do with intelligence at this point, common sense, but they don't even want to do that. I saw this Australian creator. I mean, pretty girl, but gosh, the hateful things that were coming out of her mouth. Why are they here? Oh, they're just these drifters. I know, money, money, money. You think Australia is an ATM machine? Oh, oh, I thought she wanted privacy. Didn't she want privacy? And now oh my gosh, she's not even wearing a mask, and she's at a hospital with these sick kids, dragging these sick kids to say hello to them. I mean, come on. And then they go on, and the thing that bugs me, even the people that's supposed to be the professionals are still propagating these falsehoods, because on every single newscast that I've been able to watch, get the video of, every single one, they're all saying, "Oh, well, the the big ticket item is the girls' weekend that Meghan organized, and it's $3,000. Well, it's only for certain type of people. I wonder how much she's taking home." I mean, Gemma O'Neill weeks ago made it very, very clear. It takes these people not even a minute, not even a minute, to verify their information, and they don't. And if they have, but they still continue with this narrative because I guess it sells better, rather than saying that Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, as one of the people who are keynote speakers and interview at the weekend retreat, is doing this completely for free. No fees are being charged. Nothing. She's doing it for free. And Gemma announced that weeks ago. But it doesn't fit in nicely to their narrative. So every single one of them I've watched. Oh, how much she's gonna be bagging a lot of money there. And then they go on about Prince Harry. Oh, well, he's speaking at some conference about mental health in the workplace. How much money is he's bagging there? I don't get it. He was invited to give a speech on mental health. Is he making money? Yes. Because they should be a speaker's fee. Why is it a problem if they have a speaker's fee, but Boris, former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, he has a fee? I don't see anyone complaining about him. Oh, well, that's what the Queen was afraid of. The Queen was afraid that they were going to mix this business with their royal titles. And oh, shut the F up. Put your head back in your rear end and don't come out, please. Because your stupidity is what has humanity where we are presently, because you're all a bunch of stupid people. So, as predicted, they've taken what she said, and now it's become a laughing thing for them. Hey, well, she doesn't talk about what she's done. I mean, none of them, not one of them. I mean, I don't know why I have this glimpse of hope, this glimpse of something, of these people, some of them at least, will look at themselves and say, I can't do this any longer. I cannot do it any longer. None of them. Not one of them. The narrative continues. They're making fun of abusing this woman. A mother, a wife, a daughter, a woman. And they stand there, they sit there, and they come up with every single lie they can to justify what they're doing. Well, they offended the Queen. I have never seen someone talk so much from the dead. She's dead. And she's never given so many interviews and helped write so many books. All of a sudden, they offended the Queen because, you see, that is the first line. And if you ask, so show me where they offended the Queen. Please do tell me where. Well, they did those interviews, and by the way, there were 16 lies, 18, no, there's 100, 200 million lies. Okay, go back and watch the interview and tell me where exactly did they offend the Queen. Well, one shouldn't be the dirty laundry. One should be, shut up. Shut up. Have anyone taken the time to look at all of the abuse cases in the United Kingdom? I wonder why that is. Have anyone taken the time to actually look at how many essays happened in the United Kingdom? I wonder why they haven't. More recently, kids were being shipped off to these illegal homes, being taken care of these people who are not qualified. Well, guess what happened? A lot of these kids were being abused, essayed. There was even convicts, men who were in jail. But you see, you're not hearing much about it because guess what? They're white. Now, if it was any other, black or brown or whatever, it would have been all over GB News, all over Talk TV, BBC. I mean, come on. They all find it funny to continue harassing and abusing this woman. I am happy she talked and said what she said. I'm happy she let the world know. I'm happy. Okay, I guess I should wrap it up here. Thank you for listening to my rant. I promise that I'll have a proper podcast, perhaps later today, and do all the highlights and stuff like that. Thank you so very much for your patience. Thank you for hanging out, for watching, for listening. If you've stumbled on this podcast, on this channel, and you liked 1% of what has been done or said, subscribe. Actually, if you didn't like anything at all, still subscribe. It helps the channel. Like and share and comment and all of those things that social media, the algorithm, wants us to do. So, they know that we are still engaged. I thank you for doing all of that. Ah, boy. La vida. Life, right? Well, let's continue to do as the Duchess of Sussex. Let's continue to be kind. All right. I think I need to go to bed and sleep. Or something like that. Be kind to yourself. And to your loved ones. And to that stranger that may be crossing your path. I love you all. God bless, and until we speak again. Mwah.
We talk a lot about the Queen's relationship with Harry and Meghan in the book. And before we get into the stories that you tell in this, I mean, how do we know that what you're saying is the truth in terms of their relationship? Because a lot of people watching this programme who obviously you don't have the Queen to talk to about this for the book, but how do we know that the stories that people have told you are correct and that the people that you speak to actually do have a relationship with the Queen?
Well, that's a very interesting question, but you'll have to trust me to some extent. I'm afraid, resort to what that famous expression, private information. So I don't want to particularly reveal my sources.
If things behind the scenes aren't great, and when you talk about in the book about, the depth of feeling towards, Harry and Meghan when they got together and after the marriage, I can imagine it wasn't an easy situation for them to try and work within if there was animosity from the inside.
Well, I'm absolutely fascinated to find such an advocate for these two, because
I know what I'm doing is I'm playing devil's advocate.
Okay, well, I think it's important to have a. She turned a lot of people against her very quickly, and she was extremely rude to staff. I mean, I know for a fact that one time she was rude to one of the undergardeners, and the Queen had to go and tick her off for being rude to the staff.
They'd be hugely surprised if there isn't a single member of the royal family historically who's never been rude to a member of staff before. I just think you can pull things out with the assumption that no one's ever had that behaviour ever before.
Well, most people seem to say that Prince Andrew was rude to every single member of staff that he ever came.
And we've had that conversation before. So I think to choose that as a thing to, choose that stick to beat them with, I don't necessarily think is a very strong stick. But I'm glad we had members of the royal family have give interviews to press where they've given away more than perhaps we thought they would do back in the day. Diana has done that with interviews. The then Prince Charles has done that in interviews. And I think it doesn't happen so much now, which is perhaps why it feels so glaring, because we don't really see that so much anymore.
They should never give any of those interviews, in my view. But no. I'll tell you what, can I come back in about 2 or 3 years' time and have another look at how this situation is playing out?
Oh, I'd love it.
It always welcome here.
It may possibly be that I'm right and you're wrong, but we'll see.
Or it could possibly be that I'm right and you're wrong. But we shall see. Also, the book you took.
My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are. To astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness, and to allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart. They wrote the headlines before she spoke a word, twisted every gesture, left no truth unblurred. They named her liar, called her calculating, while the camera circled, cold and salivating. They sold her tears for profit, sold her smile for shame, built a whole industry just to play like she is a game. Every act of love became a weapon in their hand. Every time she stood up, they refused to let her stand. They questioned if her children came from her own flesh and bone. They whispered she should disappear, leave this world alone. Coordinated, calculated, cold as winter stone. A woman breathing, somehow that was all they'd ever need. My wish for you is that you continue to be who and how you are, to astonish a mean world with your acts of kindness, and to allow humor to lighten the burden of your tender heart. They called her every name that cuts beneath the skin, turned her joy to evidence, turned her love to sin. Streetwalker, manipulator, too much and not enough. Stage the grief, they said, even mourning wasn't proof. They cheered when she stumbled, prayed she'd lose her way, organized the silence when she had something to say. Weaponized her clothing, weaponized her race, wanted her erased with a smile upon their face. There were days the dark came close, days the weight became a ghost, when the whole world seemed to sharpen like a blade, when the voices grew so loud and the cruelty filled the crowd, and you wondered if the light inside would fade. But she did not become them, no, she did not become them. She held the kindness harder when the could not take it. The kindness, they could not take it. They tried everything, and still she continued. And so will you.